Hey folks, an interesting conversation is being had, and maybe I should just give you my rendition of what it's about. I have a relationship with Blumenthal, and I've been meeting him periodically. Though he calls me Charles, he really doesn't respond to questions from Republicans, that is. So look at his Twitter page. Here it is. Follow him on Twitter. Let's go to it. Play the...
Were fueled by the big lie, the baseless falsehood that massive fraud occurred during the 2020 election.
It did.
That big lie was propagated.
Big lie.
Supported by the president and his enablers and
Cruise Line, all the recent articles. Great. He visited St. Mary's with Chris Murphy. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Well, he doesn't think he has to debate Republicans for his race, and he certainly isn't going to debate Peter Blumy or any of the candidates. Robert Hyde. He will not debate Robert Hyde. I know this. I have been told this. He will debate me because we have a mutual friend. I think there will be only one debate. I've already invited him to debate twice on debateattorney.com, which is a neutral platform run by two libertarians. One worked for Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, and the other worked for Ross Perot. So, on his Twitter page, they have an infection on his staff, and they're restricting access to the office. And he says that with the outbreak...
Hi, it's Dick Blumenthal. Thank you so much for calling my Washington office. I am sorry that if you're receiving this message, either all our lines are busy or you've contacted my office outside normal business hours. Please leave your name, telephone number, and a brief message after the tone, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much.
Hi, Mr. Blumenthal. I'm Johnny Flynn. We've met a few times. We have a mutual friend, Frank Recchia, at Channel 12. And I'm hoping you will debate on debateattorney.com, which is a platform for senatorial races and congressional races that's been kicked off. There's 4,500 invitations went out to debate through a platform that has access through digital phone voting that's instantaneous. In other words, if you and I debate on debateattorney.com, I get to ask you questions, you get to ask me questions. We can agree in the beginning what the questions will be. We won't have to rely on the League of Women Voters. And people are calling me every day saying, what's the platform? How are we going to get a better debate process? And talk about the issues. I think we can do that. I'm told you won't debate Robert Hyde, and you won't debate Peter Blumy, and I'm told a lot of things which I really can't confirm. I've left multiple messages. I've challenged you to 2 debates, of which you lost by default, according to the rules of debateattorney.com. So we can do it from your office, my office, interconnect through Zoom. We can have Frank moderate. He's a lovely gentleman. I'm friends with Elizabeth Greenwood, as you know. Great job on the Azure Priest.
10 seconds of recording time left.
My number is 203-561-0840. Please call me. I'm the front runner in the Republican Party in the Senate race that you and
To send your
I...
message, press 1. To send your message as urgent, press 2. To re-record your message, press 3. To review your message, press 4. To transfer to the... Thanks.
Let's
Your
just send
was
the
sent.
message.
Thanks for calling. Good.
Now I'm going to send him this video. Because if a Republican can debate a top Democrat in the U.S. Senate on the judiciary online with phone voter access, it would be a tremendous asset. In other words, 1,500 people ran for president in 2020. 1,500. 450 independents had no platform, no voice, none whatsoever. 280 Democrats ran for president. You thought only 20 ran. Tulsi Gabbard got blocked out of the box. Okay? I liked her over Pete Buttigieg. Are you kidding? Do you know what he's been doing up till now? Forget that he works for the CIA and that he's a plant. Forget that. He was selling hospital parts through McKinsey, selling off hospitals, making it further and further for people in the Midwest to go to the hospital. Now they have coronavirus. They have to drive 400 or 600 miles to the nearest hospital, who had sections of the hospital sold off by Pete Buttigieg. Look at the problem with the block, the chain, the goods and services across America, now stuck on barges out in the middle of the ocean while he is handling that crisis. This has caused inflation, folks. The Biden inflation is spiraling out of control. So, this is a request for Richard Blumenthal on his phone line. Call my office. We have an infection in the staff of the next variant. We're operating from our houses. Leave a message. I've left him 100 messages. Never a call back. Well, never a call back from a guy trying to work on problems. And by the way, 15 people call me daily about robo-signing of mortgage fraud enabled by an Attorney General of Connecticut in 2010. And that would be my opponent. What's the problem? House after house are being stolen. The court won't have a hearing. They're automatically taking people's homes who are trying to pay their back taxes, but they won't accept the back taxes. Tor had his father's house stolen, then his mother. Then he was arrested by the judge for complaining that he couldn't have a hearing. The courts are closed. Wake up. Stop doing the photo ops, thanking everyone, giving awards to human traffickers, because we have a human trafficking problem, folks. We have a DCF problem. These are the monsters in the closet. They are absolute monsters. The Theodoro case is an absolute monster in Connecticut, and we met the attorney, Connie, from Kentucky, handling it. A woman driving through Connecticut who lives in Kentucky on her way to Maine went to the hospital. She didn't feel well. She was sedated, and they stole her fetus. She was 8 months pregnant. They knocked her out, stole the kid, and gave it to the court clerk. The judge took the baby and gave it to the court clerk in Connecticut. What's the problem? Senator Richard Blumenthal knows the case because I told him about it. Senator Richard Blumenthal has a relationship with the Barrier family because Elizabeth Greenwood told him about it. He didn't want to touch the story. I get it. It's a lose-lose-lose story. But a boy was tasered in the head in Stanford, and Colangelo took a bribe. They're friends. He's covering up for Richard Colangelo. He knows about the bribe. He knows about the father. He knows about the brother. He knows about the sister. He is pen pals with the mother. He is pen pals with the mother. The case is disturbing. It's far worse than George Floyd. So let's debate. Let's get it out in the Stanford police falsified the body cam evidence. The state examiner, medical examiner, Hayes, falsified the autopsy. The governor sent a bribe from the attorney general. Guess who pocketed the bribe? The chief state's attorney. This is DEFCON 5, okay? There is no law, there is no rule of law in the Constitution state. And Richard and I are going to discuss that at length on debateattorney.com, because we are gentlemen working together. Mr. Teflon, I'll leave the stolen valor out of it, but it's a sign of an ethics problem for our judiciary in Connecticut. His son Matt is on the Connecticut judiciary. He's on the federal government's judiciary. We have a problem with the judiciary. Do you think that an attorney named Lamage, who's an immigration attorney, will fix our judicial problems by talking to someone by talking to attorneys who control the judges, who will end Lamage's career? Oh no. When a lawyer has a problem with a judge, they have to move. In Connecticut, attorneys that have complained about judges in Connecticut all complained that they were forced to move. That's a problem, because Patrick Carroll doesn't make house calls, and he's in charge of the mortgage robo-signing that Richard Colangelo is also in charge of. And if these Democrats don't get paid and supported by the court, they won't win their re-election. So they're not willing to take on anyone. You know, there's so many questions you could ask Richard Colangelo. There's so many questions you can ask Richard Blumenthal. I'll ask Richard a question right here. He's taking money from Act Blue and Black Lives Matter and Antifa through Act Blue. Now, he's talking about the insurrection on January 6th. Excuse me? What about Black Lives Matter and their rampage across America? Unquestioned, unchallenged, unprosecuted. And the Democrats posted the bail for the arsonists. Connecticut, you need to pick up the phone, dial the number I dialed, and leave a message for your U.S. Senator at 202-224-2823 and say, when's the Flynn Blumenthal first debate? Let's have 10. Let's create a forum called debateattorney.com of challengers and incumbents. Challengers and incumbents across a country where the American people can view it on their phone, and you can ask Richard Blumenthal a question directly from your phone. You can have him civilly approach a topic like DCF. like human trafficking. You know, Richard gave an award to a woman who was trafficked on Quinnipiac Law School website about human trafficking. They had a symposium. What good is a plaque to a prostitute arrested 47 times from your U.S. Senator saying, we're going to legalize prostitution instead of prosecuting? From 2006 to 2016, 400 human traffickers in Connecticut were arrested, and there were 0 prosecutions. 0 prosecutions. Do you know what the symbol is? Bob Duff says it's a white supremacy symbol. It means okay. It's from President Van Buren. When he was off to Kinderhook, having done all his work, he lived in upstate New York, and he would go off to Kinderhook. It's not a racist remark. It's not a racist symbol. It means okay. It's not the Ku Klux Klan Senator Majority Leader Duff. Unbelievable. By the way, Blumenthal said that all Republicans are complicit in every mass shooting. Are they really? That's enough talk like that. And we will call him out, and we will call out Bob Duff, who said that every Trump supporter is a racist. I support the President of the United States up to this election, no matter who it was. Yeah, ask Jimmy Sullivan, Richard Nixon's nephew, who's a friend of mine from first grade. When I was 10, Nixon got the boot. Why? For Watergate. Okay, guess what? What's happening now is far worse than Watergate. It doesn't compare. So, we need to impeach Chris Murphy, and we need to vote out Richard Blumenthal. There's a difference. One committed treason multiple times. Chris Murphy met with Iran secretly during the Trump administration. Hello. Richard wrote the Iran deal. Do we understand how we can get a grassroots effort going to increase voter turnout, educate the younger 25 to 40-year-olds about how blessed we were in the 80s under Ronald Reagan? How blessed we were. How the 60s were a wonderful time to live. How the 70s were a wonderful time to live. How the 90s were a wonderful time to live. Then look at 9/11. Changed everything. And we have people who want to destroy the West. And we have sympathetic leftists in the Congress, including the squad members, Hayes from Connecticut, Presley from Boston, Massachusetts, AOC. Oh, look at my new... Oh, check this out. Let me show you something. This is awesome. We have things coming up that you should follow. So, for example, invitation template. Oh, that's the template. Hold on. Let's look at the invitation. Hold on. Invitation template. Where's Doug Decker? Invite. That's the template. Hold on. Oh, it's on my phone. Can't show you what I want to show you, but you're about to see it. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Flynn 2022. Let's debate Blumenthal. He has no problem with that, I'm told. However, he will not debate Lamage. So, it's not my fault, folks. I'll try to make him debate us both. Everyone. Through debateattorney.com. It's the salvation of America is through debateattorney.com. Go to it. Check it out. It's the real deal, and it works. Because 1,500 people ran for President of the United States, and we debated on debateattorney.com. Guess who came in first place, folks? An unlikely candidate. A grassroots guy from Connecticut. By the way, 13 Connecticut residents ran for President of the United States. 13 Connecticut residents. And guess who got 21 votes? Me. And guess how many Denise Merrill says I got? Proof that the election in Connecticut was falsified. 21 voters sent me a picture of their ballot that I can prove voted for me. And the tally in Connecticut was 0 for me. There's an interesting thing I can show you about a poll from March 2020. Johnny Flynn had 21% of the voting in Connecticut. Trump had 15. Biden had 12. Biden had 13, excuse me. Bernie Sanders had 12. And Buttigieg had 0. Different people had 7, 4, 3, 2. Look at all the candidates that were on the Democratic ballot. They all had a few. Who's the tall guy from Texas? El Paso? Can't think of his name. I'll take your guns away from you. He had 0. He got 0 in Connecticut. That's saying something. Buttigieg got, I think, 2 or 3%. And by the way, Senate Majority Leader Duff is a Buttigieg supporter. Oh my. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're doing great, but we need to do much better. Thanks.